Hello, a very good morning to everyone. Wow, I see a crowd of, we have almost 990 people. Excellent. Right, so very good morning to everyone. Thank you very much, Miss Linda and Dr. Ann, for organizing this fantastic career guidance seminar. So I would also like to thank UNSW for providing me this opportunity in order for me to conduct a career guidance seminar for all you youngsters who are looking to do an undergrad program right after your ordinary level and advanced level, especially our Australian and international students. Also, special thanks to our sponsors, that is UNSW, our psychology department, our biotechnology and biomolecular science department, as well as the Graduate School of Biomedical Engineering, and also our official sponsors, that is the APS, Australian Psychology Society, AAPi, AstraZeneca, as well as Horizon Bridge Campus. Right, so I hope you're ready to start. Right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Han. Right. Okay. So let's introduce myself. So today I am the guest speaker. So my name is Dr. Hanif Barker. Right. I'm currently the senior lecturer and senior consultant at UNSW. Also has a part-time job I do, and I also provide academic advices for international universities as an external academic advisor. Along with that, I'm a clinical psychologist as well as a career guidance consultant. Right. You all can find me on my LinkedIn profile if you all are interested to connect with me, and if you all have any questions regarding about your programs, what you want to select, which university you want to go to, I'll be more than happy to help. Right. So just to give a brief introduction about myself, so I have a bachelor's of honors in biotechnology from University of Northumbria in UK, and MSc in clinical psychology with UNSW Australia, as well as an MSc in applied microbiology and PhD in clinical psychology, and currently I'm doing my PhD in biotechnology with UNSW. Right, so let's start forward. Moving on, now the main objective of this seminar, the reason why we want to do this is because many students now, say for example, you just come right after your advanced level examinations, right? You don't know what particular job you want to select or what particular degree you want to do, right? So my basic intention on this seminar is basically provide you an understanding about your own self, right? Also help you to like help you to do a research on what are the career options. Now there are some trending jobs, there are some jobs that are going to go into extinct, and many more, right? Along with that, I will also guide you on how you can select a degree program. Along with that, your job opportunities and trends. What are the current job opportunities and trends, and what are the outlook of different jobs by 2030? Also, what are the jobs that will be extinct by 2030, and how can you adapt if you're working that particular job, right? And what are your migration opportunities? So I believe in this seminar we have a lot of international students as well, right? And in this seminar, since we have a lot of international students, this gives them a very good opportunity in order why migration opportunities are considered as one of a proper, why is it considered as one of a proper opportunity, or maybe if they want to go for their further studies abroad and how they could do that, right? And also on your career planning strategies. Along with that, I will be concluding this particular seminar with my certain remarks, right? Okay, to start out, now let's try to understand what do I mean by career. Okay, career and career development, right? So career is basically where an individual progress in life. In other words, how you are going to progress in life, right? Along with that, now what do I mean by a career development? So your career development is very simple. Is basically is an ongoing process where you will gain certain knowledge in life, that is your degree, and you will apply the practical skills to be successful in life, right? Now take for me as an example, right? My degree, I started out with a bachelor's, right? Then I proceeded to a master. Why did I proceed to do my master's? To gain more knowledge and to improve my own skills in my certain areas of expertise, right? Along with that, now I'm proceeding with my PhD. So that's why career development is very important, right? Okay. So, what is the importance of this career guidance seminar? Now, many of you might have this question: why did I attend this career guidance seminar? It's like, okay, maybe I think for our Australian students it's free. For our Aussies, whereas for international they have to pay for this, I believe, right? Yeah. So the main intention for us to do this, because we have observed many students making wrong choices. Many students make wrong choices. The reason why is because they cannot clarify what are their goals and which direction they have to take. They have no one to provide them with informed decisions. No one tells them how can you maximize their potential. Now I'll come into that, how you can maximize your potential later on in today's seminar, okay? And how to take up new challenges. Because the issue with current students nowadays, okay, I believe now some of you might understand what I'm trying to say. Now, when you all studied in your high school and your college, right? What do you study? Basically, you mug up what is in the particular paper, or what is in the particular answer, what is in the particular part that comes out for your exam. Okay, let's say for example, you took biology. You study about in biology, you study about this Krebs cycle, you study about this TCA cycle, you study about glycolysis. To be honest, it's not going to be applicable anywhere in your life, right? So you simply waste your time in studying that. So no one tells you this is not going to come out. Yes or no? Right? Okay. And now when you navigate certain challenges, how are you going to adapt to those changes? Because different programs have different changes. Yes or no? Now, for example, me, I did my degree in biotechnology, right? So along with that, I was thinking, okay, if I go to biotechnology, I can go into this genetics, like when us people during my trend, during my era, okay, I'm not that old by the way. Okay, so during my era, biotech was a trending field. Okay, right? But now biotech keeps on declining slowly. The reason why is because there are other programs that come into play. Now let's take for example our psychology programs. Now everywhere in the world, everyone studies psychology, right? Now people don't know why do they study psychology, right? Yeah, no, we want to understand the person's brain. We want to understand like how the behavior. That's not only what you study in psychology. There are way different programs what you study in psychology. Yes, right. And also, what we're going to try to do in this career guidance seminar is to help you to create a proper decision maker, or to empower your decision making, that this particular degree or this career pathway is good for you. Okay. Now, how do we do this? Okay. First, you need to understand yourself, which is very important. You need to understand what are your interests, what do you like, what are your hobbies, what are your strengths? Another second point I want to come into that. What are your strengths? What are you going to select this particular career? What are the weak points? What are the strong points for you? And also additional, we have our values, right? Then, so basically we call this particular part as self-assessment. Okay. So that is what you have to do yourself. Okay, that's right. This title is given as understanding yourself. Then coming to your second part is, there are some cases. Now say for example, I don't believe in other countries they have, but here in Australia, UK, USA and all, we have something called a personality assessment. The reason why we do a personality assessment is to help you identify which career choice is good for you, right? Okay. And then later on, what we do is we reflect on our personal goals and aspirations. So what I'm talking here is, what is your personal agenda, what you want to become in life, right? And who has inspired you? That is where aspirations come into the concept, right? Okay. Moving on. Understanding what is self-assessment. So as I mentioned, it is something where you identify your particular interest that will help you motivate and energize you. The reason why I'm bringing this as the first point is because Many people, once they start working for a certain period of time, now say you have a degree in XYZ degree, okay? Now you go to a job, you start enjoying the job in the beginning. But after you do it for 1 year, 2 year, you get fed up. Why? Because is actually not interesting. You became bored of it, right? It doesn't help you to motivate more and more. It doesn't help you to energize as well, right? So that is the reason why we tell anyone to do a self-assessment, because this particular process will help you to understand the preference and inclination, right? Which are crucial factors for you in choosing your career pathway. So when you choose a career pathway, your personality and your aspirations also align, right? Okay. Now coming to your second part, we call so not the second part, a part of your self-assessment which I highlight is your interest. Now, how do you know what makes this thing, how do you know that this thing interests me? Or how do you know this thing is something that I like to do, right? So number one, you would consider what subjects, activities or topics you like to do, or what topics likes to bring your attention, which will like bring you first. Oh wow, this is something like that. Oh wow, I just want to, I like to go in more depth into that. I want to delve into that, right? Yes or no? Okay, so based on that, you select certain subjects. I hope there are students in this, those who are in their high school, and those who are currently going to join their college, right? I believe from the Asian countries, they go has grade 10 or grade 11, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So how do you choose your particular stream, or how do you choose your particular what you say, like what particular subjects for you to do this program? Say for example, it's not necessary that you have to do your A levels or your A levels or your high or your college. Some of them might go into foundation programs, right? I believe which our UNSW provides, right? So how do you select that this particular foundation program is good for me? Or if you have completed your foundation program, which particular undergrad program is good for me, right? So you select a topic, or you do a in detail structure about that particular topic, and you understand, okay, now this particular thing brings me a lot of joy. I like it, right? Okay, so along with that, along with that, basically have to reflect on your hobbies, what you used to do in school or used to do currently now. What are your extracurricular activities? Along with that, the reason why you do is because now, when a certain example, if I give you, when you do hobbies, right? Hobbies is something you like to do, right? Why can't you apply this basic concept onto when choosing a degree or when you want to choose your career? That is where many people do a mistake. So that's what I'm trying to bring the intention is to be the best. What you can do is to identify your interest or your hobbies. The reason why you do this is it will help you to narrow down your potential career options, which you will enjoy, right? Okay. So, sorry. Right. I think we have a question from a student. Yeah, we'll be taking questions later on, I believe. So, yeah, I think we'll be taking questions right after this session, right? Yeah. Okay. So, coming to your second point is strength. You need to recognize what are your unique talents, skills, and strength. Now, say for example, can we all sing? No, I am a really bad singer. I sing like a goat, like bah. Okay, so you can't do that. The reason why is you can't consider yourself as your, like, that's the issue. Like, the very demotivating part of many students that I have observed in my time as a counselor, okay, as well as a psychologist, is they like to bring themselves down. They're like, oh no, we don't have this particular talent, we don't have this skill. So what is my role? I try to see, no, you, because I have a belief that everyone is unique. My belief is everyone is unique, right? So if you are unique, you will have unique talents. You will have those unique skills. You will have those unique strengths. which no one else will have, right? So when I'm talking about your skills and all, it can either be your hard skills. Okay, if I talk about hard skills, mean now speaking of a foreign language. Now, for example, me, I think if some of you know me, right, I speak 7 languages. So it is a hard skill, right? There are people who can speak more than 20, 25 languages as well, right? So along with that, we have soft skills as well. Maybe some of you might be introverts, some of you might be extroverts. So there is where that is where your soft skills you need to develop, such as your communication. If you're an introvert, I know that you're not going to go into a public stage and talk. No. Why? Because you have the fear of stage fright. Along with that, you have problem solving. Some people can solve problems very uniquely, where some people just follow what other people say, and also leadership abilities, right? So you need to keep one thing in your mind is that always be unique, right? You have to be unique, right? So if you become unique, what's going to happen is your particular strengths that you have, your talent, skills, and strengths, okay, will help you to guide you towards the career path, which you can actually use up those skills, that talents, and also you can develop it into a more professional manner. Okay, let me give you an example. Now, say for example, now this is a mouse. Okay, just imagine this is a block of wood. Okay, I tell you, I want this particular block of wood from point A to point B. I want it over here. Okay, I tell you, whatever matter, it doesn't matter. You need to bring this from point A to point B. So what's going to happen? Some of you might, you know, just push this, or just because I told you, okay, just because I told you that I want this from year to year, okay, what you will do, some of you will just keep on pushing up to point B. You'll be putting your hard work and everything, right? That is what I say has people, those who don't have problem solving capability, right? Okay, but some of you will be smart. Okay, he never told us that we have to do this particular method from like this. He said anyway. So what would you do? You might maybe fix four tires or four rollers over here underneath it, and you'll easily push it to point B. Basically, you save more time and energy. That is where your talent comes in. That is what I said. When you talk about talents, this is where your talents are recognized. Your talents are considered as unique. How you use your particular talent, okay, in order to achieve a task. Okay, so moving on, we have on values. So some of you I know come from different, not some of you, all of us, we come from different cultural backgrounds. Some of us come from, we have religious backgrounds and all. Okay, but keep one thing very well in mind. Now I know our Aussies, we respect different religions, right? Also, I won't say all the countries don't do, some countries do, okay, but some, I don't know if you all are aware with this term called Karen. Okay, I know if you all watch Facebook videos and you'll understand what I'm talking about. What happens is some people, okay, don't value about your value. They don't actually value any beliefs, right? But you, as a degree holder or as an individual, you are supposed to do it, right? So how can you do that? You can reflect on what are your core values. Like, I was brought up like this, okay? Will this particular value be essential, or can I carry this throughout my life? And also your belief as well. You know what differentiates between, now that's a good example I want to give you. What differentiates between a good person and a bad person? Now you can drop the answer on the message text, right? Okay. So what differentiates between a good person and a bad person, right? The differentiation happens is based on the values, based on the upbringing, based on that person's belief. Got it? Right? So you need to keep in mind what are the principles that are important to you. Are you going to cross the line? Right? Or are you going to stick to the line but improvise? Right? Then what kind of work environment you want to work on? Okay? and what type of culture are you more comfortable with. That's why I have mentioned here is like what organizational culture resonates with you, what culture you like for me, for example, I appreciate all cultures. I love learning more cultures. I like getting involved into all cultures. I think some of you all, as I came into UNSW recently, we celebrated Lunar New Year. Along with that, with the Indians, we had celebrated Holi also last year with Diwali and all, right? But it depends on where you come from, right? To be honest, like my heritage, okay, like I was born, brought up in Kuwait, okay. Kuwait, since many of you don't know where Kuwait is the Middle East, right? So in Kuwait, we have multiple cultures. Along with that, I have been to Malaysia as well as UK, right? Along with that, then I came to Sri Lanka. But the saddest part I saw in Sri Lanka was, okay, people don't appreciate culture. That's the very saddest part there. Now, not only in China, I have observed this in India. I have observed this India. If I'm talking about not only just India, I'm talking about most of the Indo-Asian countries. Why? Because they are brought up in that kind of a manner, right? But I'm not saying all Indians are bad, okay? But now, say for example, you leave that country and you go to somewhere else, you find them completely different, right? Okay, now along with that, now let's take for example, we talk about cricket, right? Now Australians, Aussies, they're famous for cricket, right? Do you know whenever there is a match between India and Pakistan, right? What always happens? The people living abroad will enjoy it. All of them will sit together, Indians, Pakistanis, all of them like Bangladeshis, Sri Lankans, always sit together and watch the match, right? But what happens back home is they go into big fight and riots. If you don't believe me, you can go up to the news and you can check. Right? Why? Because their organizational culture is very different compared to us. Right? Along with that, the reason why I tell you is because now, even though you're coming from India anywhere, you need to learn to appreciate other countries' cultures as well. Right? Okay, so the reason why I mentioned these examples was because it will help you to identify the values that can help you prioritize your career opportunities. Okay, also help you to align your ethical and personal principles. Okay, that will help you basically lead to a greater job satisfaction and fulfillment. Clear? Sorry. Right. Moving on. Now coming to my point two, where I've mentioned about personality assessments and how we do these personality assessments for people to choose their career choice. So I believe in other countries they don't have, but now me as a counselor, if some of you want to contact me, I can help you out. We can have a online session where I will help you to identify your personality assessment in order for you to identify your particular career, right? So we have different personality assessments such as Myers-Briggs type indicator. We also have the Holland code and also the big five personality traits. I won't go into detail on this because this is completely psychology. So I don't want to, this is just a career guidance seminar. Some of you are young or as well, won't get it into your head. Okay. Just to give you an overall idea, it's like if you do this test, it will help us to identify what is your behavioral tendencies. Do you get angry very quickly? Right? Are you patient? All those things are observed in this, right? Also to see what are your preferences and what is the style of your communication, right? Okay, so along with that, the reason why we do this, as I mentioned in three bold points, is self-awareness, career exploration, and team dynamics. Okay, and yeah, so basically what we do this is the reason why we do these assessments, as I mentioned, so give you a better understanding how your particular personality will help you to influence your career choices. Okay, right. Moving on to the first one called self-awareness, right? So as I mentioned, when you do a personality assessment, now you might not be aware what you are. Some people do have no idea what they are. Like they will go to school, they're into sports and all. But when they come out from that high school or from college, they find they're completely different. Yes. So what we can do is like what in this career guidance seminar we basically highlight for students is we tell them is to create a self-awareness about yourself. Go to the mirror and watch yourself and look. and say, oh, what are my personality traits? Do I like to do this? Am I this kind of a person? Am I that kind of a person? Okay. What do I like? What are my preferences? What do I like? Along with that, what tendencies do I have? Right? So what happens is when you question your own self and you know what you want to do in life, it will help you to provide a very clear clarity on your strengths, your weakness, and what are the areas that you can improve and you can grow, so that you can apply this when you choose a particular career of choice based on your unique attributes. Right? Okay. So moving on, we have career exploration. Now, many people do a mistake over here. That's what, as I mentioned before in the beginning of this seminar, as I mentioned, I'm going to explain more in detail, is people don't know what particular career they like. So if you do a particular self-awareness assessment, this will help you a lot, right? Basically, a career exploration will help you a lot, because the reason why we do these personality assessments, as I'm repeating it again, okay, is if you choose a career, you have to choose it based on your personality profile, how you are. You can't go based on what other people say. Now, say for example, people say that, oh, you should go to this particular field. This field is trending. That field is trending. No, why would you do that? It's your life, your career, your choice option. You have certain unique talents, you have certain values, okay, you have certain skills. You can't say that just because that person is doctor, you also want to become a doctor, right? Yeah, you need to see that whether your what you say, your ideas align, whether your personality aligns, right? Now, say for example, some of us can't see blood, and you expect that person to become a doctor. No. Some of you hate math. Some of you hate mathematics. That means, can you become an engineer or a statistical officer? No. Why? Because but there might be something unique in your talent that you can go for another area of choice. So that's why, as I've said, never follow what other people say, but follow what is in your dreams. Now, say for example, you want to become an aeronautic engineer. Okay, you want to work for NASA. You want to work for what you say. You want to work for airline companies, or maybe you want to become a nurse. That is based on your unique talent, right? You might. So whenever you create a career plan or you create a career exploration, never stick to one particular job saying that I will only do this. No, see various other options. That's why whenever you do a degree, okay, now if the prospects and all are provided to you all, you see there are several options. Now if you do an MBBS degree, you can be a doctor, you can be a surgeon, okay, you can be a what else? You can become a medical officer, right? You can be an emergency doctor, right? You can be a resident. There are many options. You can be a dentist surgeon, right? So based on this, so what happens is you need to spark your different ideas onto this, so that what are the different potential career pathways that will help you to align based on your strength, interest, and values. Okay. Along with that, what you can do is you can explore the recommended, you can or recommended or different recommendation that will help you to broaden the awareness of diverse career options, and basically help you narrow down the choices that suits to your personality type. Okay. So if you all are unsure how you want to do this and all, we are more than happy to provide you with particular counseling or provide you with a career guidance counseling. Right? Okay. Coming to team dynamics. So another important factor you need to understand is, okay, team dynamics means how would you basically interact with others and contribute to a team. That is what team dynamic is. Okay. Now, just give you, I'll give you an example, right? Now at UNSW, okay, I come from different countries, right? I have a background in biotechnology. I also have a background in psychology as well, right? But the reason why I'm actually working for two different departments, so I'm working as a senior lecturer, okay. Also, I'm working as an external department. I'm working for the psychology school of psychology, as well as the school of biotechnology and biomedical science, right? What's the reason? The reason is because I know how to interact with them, how to talk about their particular subject and contribute to their particular efforts. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I have mentioned in the second point, saying that in order for you to understand your communication style, okay, conflict resolution preferences and collaboration tendencies can improve your interpersonal skills and effectiveness in group settings, which are very essential in most professional environments. That is very important to us. Say you have a degree and all, say everything, you have everything. You have a degree, you have, say you have a master's, you have a PhD, but if you don't know how to work as a team, okay, you don't know how to contribute, you don't know how to work as a team, you don't know how to keep your anger and all in check, right? You don't know how to, avoid conflicts, okay, you don't know how to provide a proper communication style with your team. It's going to affect your entire career, right? Okay, so try to think about these things. So these are some certain areas that we wanted to bring up to whenever you choose a career choice, right? Okay, coming to the third one, we talk about reflecting on personal goals. Okay, so when we talk about reflecting on personal goals, okay, and aspiration, we basically target you. We tell you always dream big. Have you all heard, you all must have heard this term, or always dream big, dream big or go home. Yes or no? Right? Dream big or go home. Why? Because you need to create a long term vision. Now, say for example, you invest this much of money into your particular degree. Okay, now at UNSW, for our local students, we go around 6,000 to 7,000 AUD. For internationals, per year is 20,000 AUD. Imagine the amount of money that you are investing, okay? And towards the end of that particular program, you're done, you go for a job and you hate the job. What's going to happen? You don't have a long-term vision. So always achieve long-term visions. Along with that, make sure you have a smart goals. Okay, I'll come into the details. What is that? And also make sure your values always have an alignment. Right? Okay, moving. So long-term visions is basically where what you basically see now. You see, how do you see yourself in the future? Not only personally, but professionally as well, right? And what kind of lifestyle you like to have, right? Like some of you, I know, because I personally, I have trained students. I'm handling the master's PhD students, right? I know students who come from a very poor background, right? But now they are super successful in life. Why? Because they have already envisioned the type of lifestyle they need. The type of lifestyle they need, right? So dream big. Okay. Along with that, make sure what are the achievements you want to achieve in life, or what are the milestones you want to do. What are the milestones? Now, say for example, now me as a person, why there's a reason why I'm doing my PhD in biotechnology. Why? My long-term goal is to become a dean of a particular university, and also maybe get into the what qualification framework. So different countries have their own qualification framework. So to get into, now if I'm talking about Australia, I'm talking about to get into Australian qualification framework. That is my achievement. I also have another achievement. I want to win the Nobel Prize, right? The reason why, because if I win a Nobel Prize, I have achieved everything, right? Now, this is, I'm talking based on my term concept. So if as a scientist, okay, for us, Nobel Prize is something big. So similarly like that, different areas have their own different perspectives, right? So keep in mind that defining your long-term vision will provide you a sense of purpose and a direction, as well as guiding your short-term decisions and actions as well. So maybe some of you might have a short-term idea. Okay, if I maybe do a degree like this, I will go into this. I'll work for a certain period of time, then I will go into that. Like because what I'm trying to say here is, say once you're done with a degree, you go for an internship. After you do an internship, you work for 1 year, 2 years, and then you go for a master's. Why? To upgrade your career. Yes. So that is what I have mentioned here. It will help you guiding your short term and actions as well. Right? Okay. Moving on. SMART goals. So what is SMART? So this term SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. You have to create this particular agenda set in your mind, right? Why do we do this? Because if you create this kind of a particular goal, it will help you to concentrate, okay? Also allow you to be actionable, okay? And it will also motivate you, it will also motivate you and also allow you to stay in track. You won't get deviated away from the track, right? So it can be anything, like maybe you're trying to do a higher education. Now, as I mentioned, people coming after their high school and their college, okay? Some of them might have relevant work experience, especially as I know in Indo-Asian countries and also in UK, Canada, US, even in Australia as well. What basically students do is they once they are done with their high school or college, they work for a certain amount of time to gain that work experience, right? Why? Because they can acquire that particular skill set. Once they do that, okay, once they do that, what's going to happen? They are going to basically implement that after getting a degree, turning their aspiration into reality, right? Okay, moving on. So now coming to the final one is your values alignment, right? So you need to evaluate whether your goals align with the values and priorities. That's very important, right? You need to value, okay, if I do this particular thing, it aligns with my goal, and if I do this particular thing, I'm going to align with my goals as well as with my values and what are my priorities. Now, when I talk about priorities, you need to keep in mind many companies, okay, are basically, I'll tell you there are two types of people, right? That's why I put the pictures here. Have you all heard something called a boss and a leader? Some of you may have heard, right? What does a boss do? The boss demands and takes credit. Whereas a leader is opposite. Will say if someone does a mistake, the leader takes the blame and the entire team is to be blamed. That is the particular area that what we do at UNSW as well. If one of us does a mistake, we don't blame each other. Okay, let's try to implement a new idea. That's what we do, right? Because we align our values. We have a code of conduct. We have an ethical value along with what our priorities. Yeah. Now, there are some places when you go work in some offices and all, the what you say, the bosses and all will give you like overtime. You work this much, like no, you have to complete the task and you have to go. No, they don't consider your priorities. Now, when I talk about priorities, it's giving a self time for your own self, right? If you don't do that, what's going to happen is, right? If you don't have certain priorities or if you don't have certain values, what's going to happen is, right? You are going to get yourself killed or you're going to fall sick. Why? Because you work over your limit, okay? Your values are not appreciated, you leave. So what are you supposed to do? Find a job that learns to respect your value, right? So coming to my main question now, are your career aspirations, some of you might have selected a career, some are going to select, okay? Are your career aspiration consistent with your core beliefs and principles? Keep that question in your mind whenever you go for any job, right? Let it be after your high school or after your college. Always keep that in mind. Whether it's your career dream, you want to become this, okay? Is your aspiration consistent with your core belief and principles? Okay, that's why you need to always make sure align your goals and values will help you foster a greater satisfaction and fulfillment. And also, it will also help you to pursue your endeavors that are basically meaningful and fulfilling to you, right? Okay. Now, coming to one of the most important topics we talk about, how are you going to research your career option? What is your career action plan? How are you going to do this? Okay. Now I mentioned you that you need to select a particular career. Now, how are you going to do that? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to see that how or where am I going to apply my particular career in which industry or what are my career options, right? So moving with the first one, so I'll be covering these points. So we are going to first explore different industries and sectors. Also, I'll be introducing about the leading degree programs worldwide, not only with UNSW. I want to make it very clear. Not only with UNSW, we also with other universities as well. Anywhere you go. So I'm just trying to be very honest to tell you what degree programs are going to be very essential in your life, right? And what I'm also going to provide you an overview of your popular fields and also highlighting the current emerging fields as well, right? Okay. Now, if you're going to explore different industries and sector, number one, you need to do an industry research. Okay. Why? Because you need to find out whether this particular industry or this particular sector will align with my particular interest, skills, and my career goals. That is very important. Okay. Along with that, you need to explore the factors. Example, we have the market demand. What now? If you're going for a particular job, you have to see where your market demand is high or not. What are the growth projections by 2030? Will this job be there or not? Right? And what is that particular industry dynamic? Where is that industry going in another 5 years? Will that industry fall down, or will that industry go in soaring heights? Okay. So you need to find the potential of different sectors. That is number one. So you need to do an industry research. Second, make sure you have networking and informational interviews. What do I mean here is you need to connect with certain professionals. So I'm not promoting LinkedIn or something. I need to be very clear in that. No sponsorship by LinkedIn or anyone with us, right? So LinkedIn is really a very good platform where you can connect with professionals. Okay, so you can connect with me as well. You can connect with different people. Why? Because you can ask people who are coming from that particular industry. They will give you hands-on insights on what is the experience and what is the perspectives of that particular industry. Yeah. So what happens when you connect with professionals who are working in that industry, right? What's going to happen? They will basically tell you, okay, whether this industry is a good way for you to proceed for your future or not. Right? Along with that, you will be conducting different interviews. You can conduct different interviews. Along with that, you can have valuable opportunities to learn about different career pathways, your job roles, industry trends from others. Those are basically in that particular field. Now, if you all, some of you might be interested in education, psychology, biotechnology, you are more than free to contact me, right? Then we have Dr. Hamid and all who are into the biomedical engineering and engineering area, right? We have different people. So you can research. So my best advice is to create a LinkedIn account. You connect yourself. Okay? You connect yourself. Go to that person profile. A person will mention this one is working in this particular industry and you can connect. Right? Okay. Now, another thing you need to keep in mind, you need to make sure to see whether you have industry associations and publications. That is very important. So now I won't say everyone can do that, right? I'll be very brutally honest. Not everyone can do that, but some of them, what they do is like me and all. If I do a certain study for an industry, right, I would try to see any industry specific associations or any publications they have published, like saying in the future this is how the career is going to be, or maybe any websites that or any websites. But or make sure when you talk about websites, don't go to these fake websites, right? Go to websites that are quite authentic, right? Where you can access into that particular industry news, resources, and your different networking opportunities as well, right? The reason why we tell this is because if you engage with industry associates and you stay informed day by day about the different industrial environment, industry development, you can basically provide valuable insights into upcoming or into emerging trends and opportunities within different sectors, right? Now I'm pretty sure everyone knows that if you're doing a degree, you in the final year you need to do a research, right? When you do the research, it has to be a current emerging trend, right? You can't just do a research at random. Okay, I'm just doing a research. You can't do that. It has to contribute to your life or contribute to the society, right? Okay, right. So moving on. Now I'm going to talk to you about how are you going to identify whether there are some programs that are leading in how would you identify whether there, what are the degree programs that are leading worldwide. Okay, because you need to keep in mind that any degree program that you select, okay, it has to play a significant role in shaping your particular future as well as your career, not only with a degree. It has to provide you with specialized knowledge, with your skills and credentials. Very important. The reason why I want to say this is because there are many universities in the world, many universities, many institutes, many campuses, okay, that provide fake diploma degrees or fake qualifications. In the end, what happens if you want to migrate somewhere or you want to apply there? You lose the job. Why? One is maybe you don't have the skill, or secondly, maybe you don't have that particular or that particular degree is not recognized, so it's a fake, right? And you have paid the entire amount to that. Okay, then but you can't say everything is fake. You need to do your thorough research. Now say now my basic advice is, if any university or any university has a website, okay, they contact you, they provide you whatever information you need, and they, like you can now basically you understand when someone texts you and all, you understand whether this person is fishy or whether this person is like giving the relevant information or not, right? That is the role of any counselor. Any student council's role is that. Okay. They help you to tell you this particular field is trending. They can't lie to you. They lie to you, that particular university is not up to its time. Okay. Because I know many, because I'll be brutally honest, okay, because I have no shame on saying that. I'll be brutally honest. Now, when we come to in the UK, yeah, in UK we have different places. Like there are some which we got to know is there was a place called IQA, that is called International Qualification. Sorry, IQF, yeah, IQF. It is called International Qualification Framework. Basically, they don't teach you anything there. Okay, so try to understand what I'm saying. They don't teach you anything there, but they claim saying that students study with them. So what they do is they basically provide their qualification framework or their like affiliations to other universities. They tell them to study, and in the end, that qualification is not recognized. Why? Because now they target mostly the Asian countries. So they try to put it out. They take people from Nepal. They take from Afghanistan. So these places all, what happened? They do, but when they try to migrate, it's not recognized, because it turns out that kind of a qualification and their degree is not up to standard. They don't provide a degree. But whereas there are certain other places, okay, where they provide something called a professional diploma program. For example, I can tell you is now currently one of our sponsors as well is Horizon Bridge Campus. They don't claim saying that you can do a particular degree, okay, and you can do a final year, you can use it to your work experience. No, their particular agenda is either you are done with your O levels, you study for 2 years with them, and then you go for a final year for a degree, or else if you have work experience, you can do it in a fast track process where you can achieve the degree and you can go to the final. You can go to the final. You can go to the final year, right? So that's why I mentioned, number one, you need to research your universities and the programs that you want to select, right? Also, there are certain places where they give you virtual campus tours and information sessions, right? And also there are some things that they give you online learning platforms. And now if you have India, like online learning platforms is very famous in India. So in India they have Baiju and different other platforms. Now recently in Australia we have Rikers University that's providing online platforms. So these all are legit, right? These all are legit. Legit in the sense these all are legal, or these all are like sure programs. I mean, if you go anywhere also and you can do it, right? They won't reject you, right? So you need to be very clear. So me, unfortunately, I come from Sri Lanka, right? I have noticed there are a variety of fake universities that provides qualification, where in the end the students suffer. I personally have many clients who have come to me. They are like, sorry, this way is there, like they have done this degree, they cannot have migrate. Why? Because their degree gets rejected, saying that it's not recognized, right? Okay, so make sure that whenever you choose a particular degree program, make sure you select the proper one. You need to do a thorough research. Professional diploma programs, you don't need. Because why? Those professional diploma programs, people or those people will guide you to join into that university. So you get recognized there, right? So it doesn't need to necessarily be approved by the APS and all. Why? Because it is a subsidiary of a particular main university. Okay, right. And also, yeah, and also you need to understand that whenever you select, be very careful whenever you select, right? Okay, moving on. So how are you going to research your universities and your programs? So as I mentioned, you need to research university and institutions that are known offering high quality degree programs in the field of your particular interest. Okay. And also you can explore factors, like you can find out different factors saying that, is this a reputed program? Are there good, really good faculty expertise in this? How are their curriculum? What are their resources? What are the alumni saying about this particular university? That is how you select a university, right? Along with that, you can, there are some universities, or if some of you from Australia, and also I believe now newly, most of us are going to go to Australia, right? I think maybe Dr. Anne is going to, not to Australia, to different countries, where we are going to provide you all informative information section if you are interested to come to Australia and study. So if universities do like this, okay, other than now, there are certain now, if certain countries now, let's say for example, India now, I know India itself, many universities go abroad, they migrate all around the world. But there are in certain countries where they only select into their particular country. They don't go outside that, or they just go to a country that is nearby, right? Okay, so never go for those. Those are not considered reputed or high quality university. University that are internationally recognized are considered high quality universities, right? Okay. Along with that, yeah, so maybe some campuses, okay, some campuses, now I think UNSW recently had their open day, right? So what happens is like they show you, right, what is happening, what is the campus culture, what are the degree programs they have, where are the different schools and all, they show that, right? Okay. Why? The reason why they do that is because they will help you to interact with that particular faculty, to interact with that staff, okay, and with the current students who are studying there. So you basically get an idea on how that particular environment of that particular university is and how is the campus life, right? So make sure you take advantages of these, right? Always never miss out any virtual. If you have an opportunity to go for it, for any virtual campus tours or information session, make sure you go 100% for it, right? Okay, and also coming to online learning platforms, okay. So you can explore different online learning platforms. Now we have Icon University, along with that, our Horizon Rich campus, all are online learning platforms, right? The main head office is in Australia, but many students study online. The reason why they study online, because I think recently, okay, where they started very recent. So recently, with if I'm not mistaken, Dr. Ann can correct me. Yeah, they recently we had almost 63 students who have completed the professional diploma in with Horizon Bridge campus, and they have joined with UNSW. Along with that, they have other affiliation with University of Adelaide. Then they have Western University, Sydney, and all these things. Students do join, right? Because if any university does not hide, or they do not hide saying that, okay, we have only this university and we'll consider to that university and all, that means they are making a fool around. But any other online platforms are very confident, or they show in their website, or they send you maybe a prospect for you to go through that, what is happening and what are the programs they have, okay, and you find there are top universities and institutions in that particular prospect, you can 100% say that this particular institution or this particular online learning platform has a very high quality education. Okay, right. Now moving on to your popular fields. Now the current popular fields around the world, okay, is number one is we have something called STEM. STEM includes science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So you have various different fields in that. Okay. Along with that, we have business and management. With that, we have healthcare, arts and arts and humanities, as well as social science. Okay. So let's talk about each and every of them, which I will explain you in clear. Right. So as I mentioned, STEM. So if you're maybe looking into a career that you like something into science, or you like biology, physics, chemistry, mathematics, or you like IT, technology, you can go to a you can go to this particular field, right? So because when you talk about STEM doesn't only include one particular factor, but there are many factors that are included, right? And when we talk about STEM's field, the STEM field is actually an evolving field and is in very high demand. Very high demand. Now, for example, me, my degree, biotechnology, psychology, and all these things are very high in demand, right? So what happens is when this particular degrees or this particular degrees or maybe this type of individuals are requested, what happens? You get more opportunities for basically to innovate or maybe for problem solving and also in advancement in various industries, right? So I won't go in detail what each of these programs can do, right? So just to give you a clear idea that there are high demands of anyone who comes from any one of this field, okay? Either from science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Okay, moving on, then talking about business management. Now, when we talk about business management, there's a very high demand in finance, marketing, human resources, operations, and entrepreneurship. Okay. Now, but there are certain factors you need to come because I know some of you might have in mind because I know some of you may be like, what about accountancy, marketing? Sorry to say, okay, marketing is there, but accountancy, no. Okay, why? I will come into that part later on. Okay, so maybe you're looking to build a career in business and management, okay, in different industries, right? Okay, so what happens is if you have a degree, you have different opportunities but to use your skills as a leadership, to use your skill has to use your skill that is your strategic decision making also has your organizational development as well, right? Okay. Now coming into healthcare. So when we talk about healthcare is a field that will never, what you say, never have a downfall because medicine, nursing, health professionals, public healthcare administrations is all time necessary, right? Because why they are considered as essential, right? Because you think what robots and AI can help you promote your health and well-being? No, because whenever now, if you don't believe me, you go just Google. You just have a migraine, okay? You go and Google. Say, I have a migraine and this so and so. It will say you have a brain tumor. Yes or no? Right? Why? Because you cannot rely on those things. You need professionals ones, right? So healthcare is another very good industry if you're looking to pursue your career in that particular field, right? Then we have arts and humanities. Okay, so arts and humanities more gets involved into literature, history, philosophy, visual arts, performing arts, and cultural studies. So maybe you are into international relations or maybe into education, you want to become a historian. It's a really good field, will never decline, right? Okay. So what happens is if people choose this particular career pathway, you will be able to express your creativity. Along with that, you will be able to understand cultural diversity if you are very interested to understand about cultures, right? You can also contribute to the society through artistic expressions as well as critical inquiries as well. Yeah, also education as well, right? Okay. Now coming into social science, where social science is currently a developing field. I won't say it's a 100% guaranteed field, but it is a developing field where you can involve psychology, as you know, many people do psychology program, sociology, anthropology, economics, political science, and international relations as well. So you need to keep in mind that arts and humanities as well as social science are actually interrelated. Okay, you need to keep that in mind. So you have different careers where now this is actually a very good developing career. So where you can say You can involve in studying human behavior if you're into psychology. You can study societies and institutions address. You can address social issues, also promote social change and development as well. Right? Okay. So these are some certain areas that we talk about emerging fields. So what are the current emerging fields happening in the world? So number one goes in data science and analytics. So if you have a degree in data science, you have a really good career pathway in your future. Artificial intelligence, AI, cybersecurity, all these things are excellent career choices, right? Also, if you are into sustainability and environmental science, it's good, right? Because you know the number of pollution and other things happening in the world. This is a really good field where you can contribute your skills into that. Also, informatics and telemedicine as well. And also you have early childhood education. As you know, there are high chances of people having ADHD, autism, children, I'm talking about kids, huh? ADHD, autism. Then, and how do you know, like how do you train these kids, especially nowadays early childhood education, as I'm aware about this field, early childhood education is in very high demand in USA, Canada, Australia, all this country, very high demand. Even in the Middle East, there's a very high demand of early childhood education. Same as well as for international relations, psychology, biotechnology, biomedical science, genetics, as well as there's a current new trend field that's going into nanotechnology. So maybe if you are into nanotechnology, you can consider to join that particular field, right? Okay, the program. Moving on. There are now how factors you need to consider. So one of the factors which I will highlight later on, which will be quite an important factor. Along with that, as I mentioned earlier on as well, how do you research universities and programs, and how do you make informed decision whether you want to do that particular program or not, right? Okay. So now when you consider factors of how you're going to choose a degree program, make sure, number one, you need to make sure that that particular degree program aligns with your personal interests and passions, right? Something that you enjoy. Okay. Then, secondly, you need to make sure that the job market demand and trends for that particular job will provide you great opportunities. Because there are sometimes job opportunities where for 10 years you can work, but later on the demand goes down, right? With that, make sure that you have a potential for growth and advancement as well, because you need to have a growth and advancement of yourself in your career. Clear? Right. Moving on. So when you research different universities and programs, as I mentioned earlier on, make sure that the programs are accredited or there is a program accreditation. So we have certain different recognition accreditation bodies. So now if you're studying in Australia, you have something called AQF. You're studying in the USA, you have something called USQF, right? You're studying in the UK, you have something called, recently bought a new accreditation body called INEC, ENIC, okay, INEC. And certain different countries have their own accreditation boards. So it has to be relevant to that particular program, right? And also they have another one called International Association of University, that's called IAU. If it is recognized, you can consider to do that particular program from that particular university, right? And always make sure that you should have access to faculty expertise and resources before you join a particular program, right? Along with that, make sure to see that whether those curriculum are updated and specialized. Okay, now specialized in the sense means, now say if you're going into the, now UNSW provides specialization programs, because now if you're going into specialization, now my specialization when I did my MSc was MSc in psychology, so my specialization was clinical. Along with that, they have another one called forensic. Yeah. Then, but when I did my MSc in Sri Lanka, that was University of Kelania, they didn't have a particular specialization. They were just directly saying that MSc in applied microbiology. Because in microbiology also we have different specializations, which was not highlighted, right? So if you're looking to maybe be specialized in a particular field, You can maybe opt for a program like that, or you can opt to a bachelor's or program for that. Or else, if you're looking into maybe, say, you want a general degree, you can do that as well. So the choice is up to you, right? Okay. Moving on, how do you make informed decisions? So as I mentioned before, on how you're going to select a career, you need to conduct a self-assessment. Along with that, you need to gather information about the different programs and what are the universities you're interested into and what are the career pathways you can go into, right? Along with that, you need to also consider your long-term implementation, whether you can use this particular degree for until you grow older, until you retire, or until you get your 401k salary, right? Okay. And if you find it difficult to make informed decision, there are many mentors, there are career counselors, there are academic advisors who you can seek guidance from, right? Like as myself, I am a career guidance counselor, career guidance consultant, right? So you can actually contact me, okay, through LinkedIn and ask me that you're looking into this. Maybe we can maybe have a online session, or maybe if depends if I am in Australia. Currently, I'm in Australia. So if I'm in Australia, you can contact me, or maybe due to business purposes, I need to travel around. Or maybe if I come to certain expos or certain meetups, if you see me, you can ask me. Or not only from me, you have different people. Now you have Dr. Ann, who has organized this seminar, and you have student counselors, and all of them you can ask them, right? Okay, so never. That's my main idea. What I'm trying to say here is that never take decisions if you're unsure. Never take unsure decisions, right? Okay, moving on. Keep a open mind. That is very important, because many of the students that I know, based on your age, okay, when you're 17, 18, you'll be very stubborn, right? You'll be very stubborn, right? So always make sure you keep an open mind. Maybe there might be certain career field. The reason why I'm saying this is because there might be certain career fields where you are not. You might find you were interested, like you want now. Say for example, you said, I want to become a rocket scientist. That's like 100% I want to be. But when you did your research, okay, you found out that, okay, becoming rocket scientist won't help me to last for a long time, but you'll like get pissed off, shit, like what else can I do? Right? Keep an open mind. It doesn't mean that you can now I'm not saying you that rocket science will fail in the future, but there might be an adaptation. If you recall what I said in the beginning of the seminar, there is an adaptation, right? Okay. So make sure that you select a career pathway and look if there are any adaptations. If you are currently pursuing a field, make sure that you follow that particular opportunity, right? Okay. So talking about opportunities, now what are the current job opportunities and trends in the current market, right? So I will be exploring in-demand careers and industries. Along with that, your job discussion of your job market trends, right? And also I will introduce to the new emerging fields and their potential growth in the upcoming future, right? Okay. So when we talk about exploring in demand fields, the highest demand, number one demand in the world is using any field or any careers that comes into technology. So either you're into software development, cyber security, data science, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, or maybe what you say, information technologies, anything. You can get, you have a really good future, or you have a really good demand in the current future, right? Also in healthcare, so as I mentioned earlier, healthcare, maybe if you're into psychology or into psychotherapy, occupational therapists, language pathologists, pathology, medical technologists, pharmacists, nurse, doctors, physicians, all these things, healthcare is another good option. If you have an idea that you want to become this particular person when you want to build your career, healthcare is another good industry where you can find plenty of opportunities, right? Along into finance. Now this is an important factor which I wanted to talk about. Now, when we talk about finance, okay, now in demand finance careers would include finance analysis, of financial analysis, investment bankers, portfolio managers, you have risk managers, you have financial planners, okay. Along with that, you have actuaries, and also you have people of like business consultants and all who will help you to develop the industry. I'm sorry about the camera. Right. Okay. So, but now if I tell you, now you'll be really surprised. Do you know in the future, receptionists, accountants will have no jobs? Why? Okay. The reason why is because they wouldn't have a job, okay, is because now let me give you a very perfect example. Now, rather than give you giving you an explanation, let me explain it with an example. So it goes into your head, right? Now, any of you, okay, I don't know about other countries, okay. Now, I wouldn't say now countries that are basically still developing, there is a demand of accountants and receptionists, right? What about advanced countries? Now, when I'm talking advanced countries that have been developed, have you seen anywhere? Okay, now I'll be brutally honest. Like, I was really surprised when I got to know this, right? Now, when you take Australia, UK, Canada, USA, Middle East, okay, Switzerland, Singapore, take anywhere, okay. Have any one of you gone to the bank and opened an account? Tell me that. No, right? Why? Because everything is controlled by the AI. Everything is controlled by the AI, right? If you're into maybe investment banker, yes, maybe you want to become like what you say, investment banker, you want to go into stocks and all, yes, you need an investment banker, I wouldn't say no, right? Financial planners, that all, those all can't be done by AI, right? But the general outcome to be an accountant, okay, or to become a receptionist that who opens a bank account, there's no high demand at all. That's going to completely drop when you go into the future, right? Okay, along with that, we also have examples of people those who try to find jobs to work in factories. Why you can't do that? The reason is because robots have taken over, AI has taken over to do that particular person's work, right? So majority now, if you ask me a margin, okay, by 2030, people those are working into that particular jobs, 56% of people will lose their job worldwide. Why? Because everything is overtaken by AI, right? Okay. So moving on, we have engineering, right? So engineering is a very good field where you will never lose demand. Okay, engineering is another field. So if you are looking into engineering fields, you have a really good demand there, right? Then into education, as I mentioned, will never drop down. Why? Because fine, education, all you have online education and all. I'm not saying no, you do have online education and all, but that doesn't mean that teachers doesn't teach you, or educators doesn't train you, or lecturers don't teach, or lecturers don't do their particular lecturing for that particular student. No, they are important. So that's why I mentioned now these particular careers are basically that cannot be replaced by AI. Keep that in your mind, right? So if you're looking to go into that particular career, you have a high demand, and that is and they are actually in demand as well in the current industry, right? Okay, moving on. So now when we talk about the job market, now what are the job market trends and how is this projection to the future? Okay, one is people hire you for skill base. That is there, usually a traditional method which they do. So they look your talent, their skills and all, they look into that. So that is one of the skills that all you need to know in order if you're looking for a job, right? You need to also be comfortable working remotely, and also digital transformation also is a part which has involved into the job market trend. That means you work online, right? Now say for example me, I started working with UNSW as online. Started working as a working remote. So I was working from Sri Lanka, right? Some of you know that I have guided students as well. All those things have done, right? I have guided students as well and all. So what had happened, so all these things when I think some of you might be in this Zoom meeting as well, right? So how did I do it? I conducted through online methods. I never needed to go visit or call them to a place. No, just on a phone call or onto a video chat, right? Because why? Because people like if they have flexible work options, right? So make sure that you have that thing in your mind as well, right? Okay. Also, whenever you look into the job market, make sure that you have certain idea on automation and artificial intelligence as well, right? So that they can get your job done for you, right? Okay. Along with that, you have your green economy and sustainability, where the transition towards a green economic and sustainable is a drive demand. Why? Because now every one of us are looking at, no, we shouldn't, burn, we shouldn't burn coals, we shouldn't use petrol, we are depleting our resources. So what? What is the alternative option? You go to your renewable energy concept. So if you're into renewable energy or you're into environment conservation, agriculture, no, really good thing, right? Okay. Yeah, so as I mentioned, you have renewable demand. So the current, so what I'm trying to highlight is the emerging fields. So what are the emerging fields that are coming into place? One is use of renewable energy. So if you're going into engineering, try to consider maybe going into solar energy, wind power, hydroelectricity, biomass, because there are really promising careers into this. Also, artificial intelligence, cyber security, machine learning. These are another option of and that are actually currently emerging in emerging fields in the current industry, right? Along with that, as I mentioned, cybersecurity is there as well, right? Then we also have health informatics, right? Some of them do a subject called bioinformatics, where you study about how you can improve the lifestyle of a person's health and health, okay, and maybe like uh, your basically a basic job role is of a health informatics is they manage and they analyze healthcare data, right? But the reason why they do that is because to avoid or to improve patients outcome. Say for example, you are maybe you might now based on your genetic studies, okay, based on your genetic studies you are prone to get cancer, right? So if you do something called an health informatics study, or maybe you optimize your health, you can try to avoid it, or you can have clinical decision making, right? Okay. Then we have a green building and sustainability, which is one of a really impressive factor now. Even our UNSW also was really surprising is a green building. What do I mean by green building is I use solar and all. I use renewable energy rather than using conventional energy, right? So these are really good opportunities where you can maybe build materials, and rather than extracting raw materials, and you can build materials and all. You can promote energy efficiency, reduce the environmental impact and all. So this field is more into engineers and all using basically use this idea or this concept. Even architectures, interior designers, all they use this particular concept, right? Okay. Now this is a very interesting topic where I have mentioned saying that what are the jobs you basically will be overtaken by AI by 2030, right? So one is you can a routine and repetitive task. What do I mean by this is, factory workers and all basically are going to lose their job because why? The amount of mistakes that an AI does and a factory worker does is only 1%. Okay, it's only 1%. So now imagine you're running a factory. Would you use labor workers or would you use AI? You would use AI. Why? Because you can improve the efficiency. Now, say with your factory workers, you're producing around 1,000 products a day, right? You're producing 1,000 products a day, but with AI, you can increase your demand. You can increase more than 2,000 products a day, right? And also with cheap labor cost, right? So that all can happen, right? Secondly, another job that's going to go off is customer service and support. That's why I told you accountant, reception, all are going to lose their jobs. Also, not only them, we have call center agents, customer representative, help desk support. All of them are going to lose their jobs. Why? Because whenever you take a call to a bank or anything, who speaks? Is it the AI or is it a person who talks to you? It's an AI, right? Because if you use AI, has same I mentioned, it reduces their cost, labor cost. You don't need human intervention, right? Okay, and also along with that, if you use an AI, it actually provides more customer satisfactory service. Okay, and also it reduces the human intervention as well. Yeah. Okay. Now data entry and processing. Now, if you're into maybe data entry, okay, and processing, there's a chance that you can lose a job as well because all the things are done by algorithms, right? Transportation and delivery service is another one where it's going to lose, where people are going to lose their jobs as a truck driver or maybe how you say this transportation this one by this delivery driver and all these guys. Why? Because reason why is because AI has overtaken everything that everything can be done self-driven. Now, if you go now, recently I was in the Middle East in Dubai. Everything is controlled by drones. People don't deliver, right? Everything is controlled by drones. By every like it was really surprising for me to see an Amazon package coming by a drone was really surprising for me, right? So all these things, what happens is you basically reduce all these people, like you avoid human drivers, operators, and all these things, right? There might be a time where in the future, right, you won't even require driving license. Might be because why? AI can drive you from this place to this place. That's what Tesla has done, right? Okay, so another factor is when you do where now there are some people who they select as advisors. Now, me as for example, okay, I'm an external academic advisor, right? So based on that, I might even lose a job in the future as an external academic advisor. Why? Because critical thinking and problem solving all can be done by AI, right? And also adaptability and flexibility is also there. You need to keep that in your mind because now when you talk about a human will be working from 9 to 5, right? But an AI can work 24/7, right? So that is the issue there. So, but one thing I would say is yes, it's scary. I know some of you might be thinking, oh my God, it's like this scary, right? Yes, it's scary, but can't help it. But we also have to, we can't be, backward in a society. We also have to move forward, right? Okay. Then also I was talking about digital literacy and technical skills as well, right? And also we have emotional intelligence and interpersonal skills as well, right? Because I think University of Massachusetts they recently they create robots that are live likely. But have you noticed how because they recently had this recently means I mean last year they had this expo where they kept the robots and they spoke so you can understand what's the emotional intelligence and interpersonal skills. There might be a time where robots will overtake, right? Even the jobs of a police, fireman, or anything. There might be, right? Because now us as human beings, now I'm talking based on psychology. Now, us as human being, we consider no, we have something called empathy, right? We have something called emotion, communications. Okay, we also collaborate, but an AI can do everything in one go. You do it doesn't need partnership, it doesn't need teamwork, it doesn't need to communicate. It's programmed in such a way that it sees fire or something, or it has a sensor method, it directly does the necessary, right? So that is there because that is the difference between us and AI. You need to keep that in mind. So we need to adapt to that particular area. So don't worry about it. I know some of you might be like thinking, maybe like I want to go this field. What about AI takes in? But as I mentioned, the fields that are currently in trend, don't worry, it can never be taken by AI. AI will be involved. I'm not saying AI won't be involved. AI will be involved into that, but but the main power will be in the human's hand, right? Okay. Then also now continuous learning and upskills as well. So even now recently I believe this really a good initiative done by Horizon Rich Campus where they are continuous learning and all are controlled by AI. Right? They have teachers and all, they have do have lectures and all, but everything classes all are scheduled by AI. They don't they don't have a person. I was really surprised to see they don't have a person to to conduct lectures. Everything is recorded. Everything is AI does the entire control. Even the marking of the paper is done by AI, right? Right. So the best thing what we can do is we can collaborate with AI technologies. That's what I said. We can collaborate with AI technologies, right? So that is the best way. What we can do is to augment the human capabilities and enhance its productivity, right? So I know some of you in your minds are again like basically yes, you are turning lazy. Okay, it's not that you're not turning lazy, but there is a high scope in that as well, right? Okay. So as I mentioned, you need to embrace change and innovation. You need to embrace change and innovation, right? If you do that only, you have opportunities for growth and advancement in your particular career, right? And also you can develop soft skills and human-centric abilities as well, right? Human centric abilities more would be related with the AI-driven technologies, and also you can also create soft skills as well. You can maybe learn something new. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now coming to migration opportunities. Now this is a really interesting fact. I believe we have international students here. This will be very important for you all and also our Aussies who are planning to migrate to other countries, right? So whenever you take a migration opportunity, you need to consider certain facts in mind. You need to consider the global job market. Okay, consider global job market whether that particular job is available in that particular country, right? Secondly, you need to see your immigration policies as well. Okay, that is very important. You need to see your immigration policies as well. And because like man, there are many agencies and all that will cheat you, but you need to be very well sure whether you go in such a manner. Now, if I advise you into that, I would suggest that if any country you go into, make sure that that visa that you're applying for should have a skilled worker visa. And it can be a student visa if you're going to study for your master's or final year. It can be an entrepreneur visa or business visa or other immigration pathways. Okay, that is based on your qualification, work experience, and your personal circumstances, right? And also, so if you are interested to more like international students, you're more than welcome to contact me, right? I will be more than helpful to guide you how to do that particular aspect, right? And you need to keep very well in mind what many people and students forget is that they forget the cultural consideration. Some of them go to different countries. Ah, okay, now I'm in the UK, like this and that. But they don't appreciate the culture. Yeah, like, dude, come on, like they eat food like this, like they miss home. If you're gonna have that kind of mentality set is different. Right? You need to appreciate the culture and then you can adapt to that culture. That's how you do. Okay, you need to consider cultural factors. Okay, one is the language. You need to respect those people. You need to respect the language. You need to respect the customs of that language, customs of that country. You need to respect the social norms of that country. Whenever you plan one migrating opportunity, if you can't do that, I'm really sorry to say you are not suitable to migrate. Right? Okay. Then also you need to now whenever you go to any country, make sure that you research the climate, everything. Because I myself I know now when I was in Sri Lanka, right, there were many people who wanted to go to Canada. After they went to Canada, they came back within 6 months. Basically what happened, they wasted their money, everything. Why? Because the country is very cold. Okay, there's ice like all around, the temperature is always negative, right? So you have to be mentally prepared when you go, right? Okay, and you need to make sure that whenever you go, make sure you do a research of the country before you go. Okay, right? Country before you go, and then only you have you will be mentally prepared. You will enjoy what you do, right? Okay. So, so as I mentioned early on, also now the different fields. Now the fields that I spoke was based on international, right? So if you're looking in, if you're coming from a STEM field area, you have good opportunities in United States, Canada, Germany, Australia, and other countries as well. Business and management. If you have degrees, you have financial hubs. Like especially you have the United States. In United States, you have New York, where it's famous for the stock exchange market. United Kingdom, right? Singapore, Hong Kong, all these countries are really good scope where you can conduct your business, or you can go into the stock market exchange as well, right? Then we have healthcare. So healthcare all around the world is anyhow essential. We have creative industries as well. Okay. So maybe if you're into fashion, you're into designing, you're into literature, performing arts and all. You have United States, you have UK, you have France, Canada, all these countries, they actually recruit professionals to join the industry as well. Right? Okay. And also hospitality and tourism, which is like very common in countries that invites tourism, right? Especially we have Spain, Italy, France, Thailand, United Arab Emirates, surprisingly, also has as well, right? So actually, because if you're maybe into, like hospitality management, okay, tourism and all, that's a really good opportunity for you to join these places, right? Okay, so these are like recruitment per country wise. So in United States, you need to keep in mind that their culture is in such a way that they are very diverse to their job market. Okay, they have a very entrepreneurial culture, and they also have very innovation hub. Basically, new ideas and all you propose, they accept, right? Also, then if you're planning to migrate to Canada, okay, Canada, you need to know it. It has a very high quality of life. Canada is a country which has very high quality of life. It has multiculturalism. Okay, multiculturalism. If you're confused, it means you have people from different countries who are over there, and also they are very welcoming people. Keep that in mind. And also there is a very high demand for tech workers. If you're having a degree in maybe healthcare, engineering, finance and all, there's a very high demand that you can go and work in Canada, and you can work in Canada with a really good wage, right? Then we have Germany. So Germany, if you're into automobile industry and all these things, it really has a very strong economy. It has manufacturing industries, and also emphasis on innovation and engineering as well. Okay, and coming to Australia, a country which I love the most, okay, is basically Australia is known for its outdoor lifestyle. Everything is done outdoor. So we have barbecues, everything is done outdoor. Like people don't live in the house. So everyone is very extrovert. Everyone is a person who everyone is actually outgoing, right? Everyone is like extroverts. So it's like that. And you have very diverse cultures. You have people coming from all around the world over there, all around the world, and we learn different cultures as well. And currently, our economy is growing as well, right? So reason now current trend, everyone is going into Australia. So Australia, so because there are a lot of skill migration and permanent residencies opportunities for Australia as well, right? Then we have United Kingdom. Okay, so as you know, United Kingdom is the global financial center. Center is in London, right? So if you're into the financial side and our financial tech, that is your place to go. Then we have Singapore, okay, another country which is known for a stable economy, multicultural society, and strong government support from for the innovation and entrepreneurship as well, right? Then Switzerland. Okay, Switzerland is a country, okay, I would say is very cold. I'll be very brutal, it's very cold. Okay. Then you have high standard of living, very stable economy, and strong focus on research and development. Because me as a member of the World Health Organization as well, WHO, research and development of most of our drug trials, I find the healthcare industry and pharmaceuticals and all these parts happens in Switzerland, right? Then coming to New Zealand is right south of Australia, right? Is we are They are known for stunning landscapes, outdoor lifestyle, and friendly communities. So if you're looking into like that, or if you want to migrate into those countries, yes, why not, right? Okay, now coming to the Middle East. So Middle East is actually the current trend where everyone migrates. Let it be anything. Okay, either you're into cybersecurity, you're into anything, cybersecurity, hospitality management, and all. UAE is the place. Okay, you have, because why? But you need to do one thing whenever you go UAE. Okay, UAE is basically a country where you can develop your business. Along with that, you have vibrant culture as well and modern infrastructure as well. But you need to keep something in mind. You need to really respect their rules, laws, and regulations. Right? Yes, any company will give you human rights and everything. But if you break a law, you're done for. Right? Okay, same thing with Qatar as well. Qatar is another country that is growing currently in the field of infrastructure education because recently they found out oil and also if you're into the petroleum industry and all, this is a really good objective for you to join. And also if you're into the construction industry, they are planning to create new buildings, new opportunities for architecture, civil engineering and all. Then also into education and healthcare as well. Then Saudi Arabia is also the same, right? And then we have Kuwait, okay, another country which is the world's richest country. I think most of you might not know. Like Kuwait's currency is on the world's top one currency, right? And they are still recruiting individuals and people. If you have proper qualifications and all, they do invite you to come to their particular country, as well as Oman has well, right? Okay, so I think that is for our career guidance seminar. So I would like to conclude this seminar. Okay, I would like to thank everyone coming as well, and I would provide my remarks. So as I mentioned in this seminar, one of the most important things in order for you to decide a career, you need to understand yourself, right? And then when you understand yourself is when you can make informed decisions about the career pathways. Then when you are going to research your career options, okay, and degree programs worldwide, you need to make sure that you show an importance of the exploration of different industries and sectors that align to career choices with your personal interest and goals. And also we discussed about various job opportunities that are related to leading degree programs and we also explored in demand careers and industries across different job fields. Also, I also highlighted like what are the jobs that can go extinct and what are the jobs that can adapt basically, and what are the jobs that will be basically affected by AI by 2030, right? And also we discuss about the migration opportunities and what are the key countries where you can have unique career opportunities and cultural experience, right? And yes, so I wanted to actually give a very brief point for you all of you students here, is that make sure that whenever you choose a career, okay, make sure you need to adapt to the rapidly changing job market, right? Because you need to keep in mind as technology evolves, industry also will transform. So you should be very agile, proactive, and also you should be very open to study new skills and also be up to date about the competitive and thrives in your particular career, right? Okay, and I would like to thank everyone and a special thanks for UNSW for providing me this opportunity. And yes, I think we can go to the Q&A session, right? I believe we don't have much time because based on the limitation given to me, right? So I think we can take a few questions. So you all are invited, you all can open on the mics and ask me questions, right? Or you can drop me a message. You can drop to the message to the administrator, and she will pass forward the message to me, right? Right, right. I think. Oh, we have. Oh, okay. So we have a chat box, right? Perfect. Oh, wow. We have a certain number of questions, right? Okay, a question. Right, that's an interesting question. So, there's a question that I asked means how do I select a career if I'm unsure with all the options given to me? So, as I mentioned, so if you're unsure with the options given to you, what you can do is you can consult education. You can consult career guidance counselors like such as me. Okay, or if someone you know also you can contact them and you can talk to them as well. So if you're looking into specific fields, so usually, as I mentioned, we do a personality test. So based on your personality test, we give you the several options. This is what you can do. So let it be. I think we have students. Okay, right. So yes, so it can be so what we do is usually if you come to us, we do through a personality test assessment, right? Because we don't know about you, no, we can only understand about you if you do the test, right? Okay. And yes, so the other question is why? Okay. Right. The other question is like, is it necessary that I have to complete my college or A-level examination to get into the university? No, not necessary, because there are certain universities that will provide you foundation programs, right? So once you complete your foundation programs, you can go into your bachelor's directly. So say, for example, if your bachelor's take 3 years, you'll just have an additional 1 year to complete your foundation program, right? Because any foundation programs has, based on my understanding, would be more into, it will highlight to what you will be studying in the future. You won't be studying other nonsense, right? So you need to keep that in mind, right? Okay, so we have another question. Okay, I think we have quite similar questions, right? Okay. Hmm. Right. Okay, so we have from working professionals, they have asked a really good question. So they are like, if they have working experience. So if they have working experience, yeah, they have a working experience, and if they have working experience, and should they study for 3 years, or can they fast track a program? Yes, you can fast track a program. Okay, since you have experience. Now, as I am aware, for any degree program, what you can do is, say, if you have 2 years of work experience, it's not sufficient to do a final year degree program. What you can do is, you need minimum of 5 years experience in your particular relevant field. Or if you want to go for a master degree program, you should have minimum of 10 years experience in a relevant field, right? If you're looking now, say for example, you're looking to do a degree as soon as possible, what you can do is, you can do like a professional diploma programs, like the only relevant place that I know is with our Horizon Ridge campus, because they are the one who provides professional diploma programs. Because you need to be very clear, there are different types of diploma programs. You have a general diploma program, you have a higher national diploma program, and you have a professional diploma program. Now, since you come to a professional, or you're looking to use or study to apply your work skills, or all to apply your working skills, or your soft skills and your hard skills in a particular industry, or for your work job, a professional diploma should be fine, right? Yeah. Okay, so we have another question. Might be. Oh, we have a way lot of questions. Huh? I don't think so. I'll be able to take another two questions due to time restraint. Right. This is a very interesting question. So they have asked me a question about, how do I stay updated with trends and all. Uh, Trends and all. Okay, how do I have trends and all? Yeah. So, so basically the question is like this. How do you? So if I'm to be clear, what you're trying to ask me is, how would you be stay updated with the industry trends, right? Okay. So how you're going to stay updated with the industry trends is, you need to be following those particular websites or industries. Websites or industry in the sense means, now, I think I can understand what you're trying to say, is because can't make sure that what are the fake websites, what are the genuine websites, right? So what you can do is, like, you have famous websites. Now, when you come into the education industry, you have Journal of Education, then Journal of Education, then you have, when you come into the medical industry, you have BMC, you have the NCBI, and all these things. And psychology, you have Journal of Psychology, you have APA, then you have BPS, all these things. And also with Australia APS also we have. So all these things, they will be providing you the current trend in your particular field, right? If not means, as I mentioned, you can do it through networking as well, right? So if you connect with many people, you can do it with networking as well, right? So then you understand, because I know it's quite difficult. So maybe if you're not even that comfortable, or maybe you're trying to decide a career as soon as possible, my best advice would be, go for visit a career guidance consultant, and the career guidance consultant will be more than happy to guide you, right? Okay. So we have the final. I think that we can take a last question, right? Okay. This is on migration. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so we have a question that says that, how do I know that which agencies are fake, which agencies are true? Which agencies are true? Has all the agencies Claim that they are rightful. Okay, yeah. So all the agencies, they claim they are rightful. Very good question. So as I mentioned, so if you go through my slides, I believe it will be shared with a certificate of participation as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so as I mentioned in my seminar as well, you have certain kinds of visa. Now, say if you're going for a job purpose, you have a skill migration visa, okay, or skilled worker visa, right? If you're going for studies, you have a student visa, which the university will provide you directly, no one else. Same with the skilled worker visa will be provided by the government, no one else, right? Then you're looking into business visa is anyhow provided by the government as well. I know many of these agencies and all are there, but my personal advice for you would be directly apply to the government embassy. Now, if you go to Canada, USA, UK, Australia, and all, you can directly apply to the government. They will request you certain documents. You can directly apply to government without paying a single penny. But there are certain other things you have to show money and all based on the country's standards, okay, based on the country's standards. If you have all those things, you don't need to waste your money using an agency, right? So if you're interested, you can contact me as well. I'll be more than happy to give you a one-on-one counseling on to that question, and we can help you to migrate in a proper and a very decent manner, right? Right. Okay, so I think that's all. I would like to thank everyone. Thank you very much for attending this session. Right. I know some of you couldn't attend, some of you can because of our time zone, because we are following the Australian Eastern time zone. So